Welcome to the After Six Club's Ambitious Tribe podcast and webinar. I'm your host, Cassie Pajarillo Braganza, international independent LinkedIn trainer, startup founder, speaker, and encourager of dreams and ambitions. In this training series, this is where I take you to a fireside chat conversation together with our guests. We will answer your questions and thought after advice when it comes to driving ambition, which you can take action right away and make things happen. Hi guys, and welcome to another awesome episode of the Ambitious Tribe podcast and webinar. Every now and then, we'll be incorporating several topics that involve life's choices and essentials. Today, we'll be talking about something all should ask themselves. You should all ask ourselves, are you financially fit? All right, so in this session, our guest, the marketing goddess, events and partnership director of the After Six Club, and AXA Union Manager will talk us through the importance of setting up everything essential that we all tend to forget, especially entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, and solopreneurs, or even those side hustlers. Now, let's give all around applause to and let the red carpet roll. Lysa Sanchez. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's happening. I couldn't even pronounce it well. But that's okay. Every time that we are together, while I am together with this woman, ay nako talaga, everything is just like a blur, or sometimes it's just really, really fun. But you guys, I'm just so happy because we are going to be talking something really more important than business. And
yes,
Lysa and I have been discussing this for about years now, and she, being an educator herself, it's one of her advocacies also to teach other people also that it's important to, well, the topic that we're about to discuss about being financially well, because this is also something that's close to her heart and she herself has experienced. All right, so hi Lysa.
hi Cassie. Hello to our members of the After Six Club, and hello to all our viewers and listeners. So mabuhay and welcome.
All right. So we're going to set aside After Six for today. But what really matters is, again, how do you become financially fit? But before that, Lysa, can you tell us your backstory?
Okay, a little bit of background about me kasi baka it might be too long already. So
Right.
I'm the unit head, and I'm a licensed financial advisor of the After Six Club of AXA Philippines. And I also own a travel agency. I used to teach college and masters, but I'm also a professional trainer and consultant. So, personal background, I've been a type 1 diabetic since I was 14 years old. And I live with two senior parents and my sister who's a licensed broker. So all of us are entrepreneurs, and all of us are in need of financial, what you call this, protection, because as I've said, I live with two senior parents and I'm also type 1 diabetic. So there.
Okay. Thank you for that introduction.
May diabetic
All
pa.
right. So that's why there's always, it's always, we always need the red carpet for you. All right.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, let's go and dive in. Let's jump into today's discussion. Okay. So, Lysa, what do you mean by financially fit? You're the one who coined this, and
Okay.
you were saying that you need to be realistic, and you had so much explanation with this, but I guess it's better if it will come straight from your words.
Okay, so that's great, Cassie, that you remember all of these things, because normally, like now, in times of crisis, people are more aware that, oops, I think I need more protection, or I think I need this and that. Now, as a financial advisor, I'm very realistic. Usually people ask me, oh, Lysa, how do I prepare for retirement? So people are always thinking of retirement, or people ask me, oh, Lysa, how can I invest? But I always tell people, especially for freelancers or solo entrepreneurs, let's go back to basics. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, you have to be covered in terms of basic government protection. So when I say government basic protection, I'm talking about your PhilHealth, SSS, and Pag-ibig. Now, I've met a lot of corporate professionals who transition to being freelancers.
Right.
They are not, or they were not aware of the fact that they should transfer their, or they should convert their plan from being corporate to being voluntary. So I always tell my clients, back to basics. Before we talk about being financially fit, the question is, are you protected? Now, normally, we Filipinos, we look at investment and retirement in terms of protection. But that's too far away. So normally when people ask me, Lysa, am I financially fit? I ask them first, do you have PhilHealth? Do you have SSS? Do you have Pag-ibig? Because if you don't, we have to start with that. How can we move on to retirement, to your other investments, if for the basic part, you're not protected? So there.
Okay, so I understand that as a financial advisor, this is really not your scope. I mean, I barely meet financial advisors who would even care about these things. What are the repercussions in connection to, of course, your occupation right now?
Yes.
What is the effect if, let's just say, this person doesn't have the basics, and there are those who actually refuse to have SSS or this government protection because they
Benefit.
benefit, sorry, benefits. It's because some of them, their mindset is that, okay, it's the government, I would earn more if I put it on insurance, or it's going to be a waste of time, and so on and so forth. I mean, what is the repercussion?
Please spell nga Cassie.
Repercussion.
Repertory.
Yeah.
To simplify, what will happen if you don't? Okay, take for example, now that we're on lockdown. Okay, there's a lot of sickness other than nCoV. Let's face it. Okay, as I've said, I'm type 1 diabetic. My parents are senior citizens. They're both type 2 diabetics. Aside from that, we have the whole shebang, as in hypertension. Ano pa ba? Too many to mention. Okay? So hi to our doctors who are watching. We're eating well. So people are thinking, okay, what will be the benefit? For example, for PhilHealth, if you get confined, let's say this week, not just for nCoV, but let's say just simple as diarrhea, headache, or whatever, PhilHealth will cover a portion of your professional fees, the rooms, and so if you don't have PhilHealth, which is as low as, and if I'm correct, it's 2,400
for a year.
a year.
Yes, correct.
Okay, you will cover the portion of that, or you will pay the entire amount if you don't have HMO. So as simple as that. People are thinking of benefits as something minimal when it comes to government. But for example, now with this pandemic, for SSS, I just saw this in their bulletin. You can apply for calamity loan or personal loan. For Pag-ibig, you can also file for loans. Okay? So sometimes we're thinking, I don't need this because it's the government. But often, it's going to be too late when you discover that you actually need it. So consider that. So don't be tamad, because a lot of people are too lazy to say, I am, first, those who are watching, you know who you are. Okay? Matamaan ng matamaan. You know who you are. It's so easy. You just go to the SSS office, PhilHealth and Pag-ibig.
That's right.
The number that you have when you started working, as in even when we were fresh grads, the TIN number that we have, the SSS number that we have, the PhilHealth number that we have will not change. So even if you're single, you're going to convert it to married, you're still going to use the same number. So that's my advice. There's going to be a lot of repercussions. No, let's not call it repercussion. But during times of crisis, you will be surprised that there's actually a lot of benefits that you can enjoy with PhilHealth, SSS, and Pag-ibig. I'm not affiliated with them, but based from personal experience, it's an essential that people don't get because we're too lazy. And I would like to thank my sister, my Ate Lyra, because she takes care of these things for me because I'm too lazy to do it for myself. So you have to have an advocate who will do it for you. So if you're living alone, you are that advocate.
No, but that's true. In my personal experience as well, I was able to confine myself in a hospital worry free, and I was there for a week. And because I was voluntarily giving all these, this 2,400 for my PhilHealth,
Mm.
it I basically didn't pay anything after.
Yeah.
So there is not just the relief, but there's also peace of mind that when you go to the hospital or when you get sick, you can just like go, and
Yes.
you don't. Peace of mind is such a huge thing. So okay, so being financially fit. So the first phase that you were saying is that you should have this government
Benefits, the
benefits, yeah,
basics.
the responsibilities, the benefits taken care of. So that's
Yes.
one facet. Now, moving on to, let's just say, to maybe 18 years old. So these are legit, they can now
Right.
provide on their own. Maybe they can now sign paperwork. Well, for me, I started investing when I was 16. Um,
Yes.
and it still happen. I mean, it doesn't end, honestly. Part one is never enough, you guys. But yeah, so
Yes.
let's walk me through. So let's just say you have a client. We have, let's just say, friends over here, our viewers. They've handled their government benefits already. What is the next step towards completing the pie? So are there
Okay.
four? Are there four? Are they divided into four? I mean, what is the structure supposed to be?
Normally, we check if we have protection for
Mm-hmm.
unexpected needs and if we have savings for the expected needs. So, for example, protection when it comes to unexpected. NCOV is unexpected. We've been talking about pandemics ever since, but we really haven't experienced it ourselves. But now that we're here, we see the value of, okay, am I protected? If I get sick today, will somebody take care of my bills? If I pass away tomorrow, who will take care of my family? So normally, we look at those two things, protection and savings. Now, after you've gotten your PhilHealth, SSS, and Pag-ibig, I normally ask my clients, do they have health protection? Because the most guaranteed thing in the world is all of us are going to die.
That's true.
Okay? We don't know when, but it could happen anytime. But Lord, not now. Okay? Not now. Second is we're all going to get sick. Okay?
Mm,
Which
mm,
is the reality. People usually discuss about retirement.
mm.
But I'm sure Cassie and I, we have a lot of friends who didn't live until their retirement. They passed away early. They
That's
passed
true.
away with their families who are still young, with probably they've gone ahead of their parents. So I normally ask my clients, don't focus on retirement. Especially even if you're like 55, you don't focus first on retirement. You have to focus on your health. Because if something happens to you today, your savings will be wiped out. And you won't have that retirement benefits to speak of because probably you're too sick or you didn't make it. So normally ask my clients, do you have health card? Okay, this is different from the critical illness insurance that some of you might have. So I
Mm,
normally ask, do you have a health card? Or we call it HMO in the Philippines. So there are several brands or several companies who are serving. Because I normally ask my clients, if you get sick tomorrow, how will you handle the bills? And normally my clients will tell me, I'm not masakitin.
okay.
For now, yes. But
Yeah.
let's see with this nCoV pandemic, right? Nobody thought they're going to be sick. A lot of those who got sick are not senior citizens. You'll be surprised. So I have mutual friends who got the nCoV.
Oh,
They're not
wow.
senior citizens. Diba? They're not senior citizens. So you'll be surprised that normally health is the last thing that we consider. Now, I always ask my clients, do you have a health card? If you're employed, normally this is provided by your employer. But I'm surprised now, there's a lot of companies, especially, I guess, startups or small companies, they do not have that benefit for their employees. So I normally tell
Mm,
my clients, you have to get it. So health card will cover you for what? If you need to have a consultation with your doctor, you don't have to pay. If you need to have your blood test done or other tests related to your illness, it's going to be covered. It depends on the coverage.
That's so true.
Third, if you get confined, either for emergency or any operation, you'll be covered. So that will take care of your short-term or unexpected need. Okay? Now, Cass, what happens if, let's say, you don't have a minor illness? When I say minor illness, something that is acute or it will be treated. When I say acute, for example, you have LBM. That's just acute. It happens one time. But what if you're diagnosed with, let's say, colon cancer, lupus, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's? Okay? Usually we think, that won't happen to me. I'm healthy, diba? We're physically fit. I eat vegetables. I have a lot of friends who tell me that. Well, you will be surprised. A lot of healthy people will have a minor and major critical illness. Now, when that happens, you need a different insurance to handle that. If you're diagnosed with any of the critical illness, either minor or major, you'll get cash. So that's another benefit that you should think of. Because even if you tell me, Lysa, I have a health card until I'm 65. In the Philippines, health cards will only cover probably about the maximum. I've discovered the maximum coverage for some companies, it's 750,000. But if you get cancer, 750,000 is just what? One confinement. Okay? So you have to consider that. After your health card, what is next? What if you get diagnosed? So you need a different health insurance. So that is where a lot of companies are now promoting it. We usually call it critical illness. Okay? So critical illness. You'll be surprised, Casa, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's are included in critical illness.
Oh, wow.
Before, it was just considered a sakit ng matanda.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it happens now to younger people. About before the age of 60, they have it.
Oh, wow.
So, what if you have that before the age of 60 and hindi ka umabot sa retirement? O, di ba? So, you need a different type of insurance for that. So, you have your health insurance or health card, and then you have a critical illness insurance to supplement it. Because as I've said, it only takes one illness really to wipe out your savings.
Yeah.
So, what if you get sick at age of 64? Hindi ka pa rin umabot sa retirement. O, di ba? Even if you get sick during retirement, ubos ang retirement savings mo. So, you have to consider that. Now, so as I've mentioned, you have to have your health card. You have to have your critical illness. There's one rider that I will be now promoting. I will be hard selling it because I've seen the value of it.
Yeah.
It's called a care rider. Okay. So what happens is, if you get it, you can get it. Some insurance companies will sell it separately. Some you can add it to your existing insurance policies. So what happens is, if you get sick, for example, or confined, I need to clear that. If you get confined, you will receive a daily hospital income benefit. So for example, I have mine, which is about 1,000 pesos per 24 hours of confinement. So let's say, if you get confined due to pneumonia, normally for pneumonia, it takes what? Cass can discuss that because she got sick of, di ba, bronchitis ba? Oh.
No, it was gastroenteritis. Crazy.
Haba pala. Gastro pala. So, for some people, a normal confinement is what? 4 days? So, for example, 4 to 5. So, if you get confined, let's say 45 days, when I was confined last June, I was able to get 4,000 pesos for 4 days of hospitalization. So, see, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, and you get to have allowance for the people who accompanies you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's so true.
So there. So you have to have HMO or health card, which covers for your inpatient and outpatient benefits. You need to also have, as I've said, critical care insurance or critical illness insurance to cover you. And you need to have, I will be hard selling it, the care rider or critical daily hospital income benefit. Because right now, I really see the benefit of having it. Yes, because as I've said, we're suffering now from a pandemic. So there. So that's the basic cast. If you're covered with the three that I've mentioned, you can move on now to investment, which is the favorite topic of a lot of people.
Yes. Just wanted to share also, this is actually close to my heart as well. The financial literacy is so important. I've been used to, I mean, for our listeners as well, of course, and our followers too, and after six. When I got sick, because I always tell myself that I'm an independent woman. So you have to really prepare yourself. So even if I was in the age of 16, I was already looking forward to retirement, that I thought that 1 million pesos at the age of 16 was huge. But if you
Yeah.
compute it, it's basically just, well, it's a good help, but it's not as big as we thought. So
Yes.
the next thing that you have to do is you really have to diversify in terms of where you're going to put your money and what is the objective per investment. So let's just say, of course, a healthcare. It was so early in the age that I got myself like 10 years health insurance. Even my parents were amazed on how I can actually just go to the hospital as if
Mm.
it was just a staycation, and it was a peace of mind. And all that I gotta do, in fact, I just called them like on the second or third day that I was
Yeah.
actually in the hospital, and they were saying, okay, how are we? I mean, of course, having senior citizens or our parents, even if they are responsible of us, now that we are grown ups, or even when you're a teenager, you are
Yes.
responsible of yourself, because they weren't part of you when you were drinking outside with your friends and so on and so forth.
Yes.
So what I'm saying, what I like in this conversation is that, Liza, I think you're coming into a place where you are not just a financial advisor in terms of just hard selling your insurance, or
Yes.
I mean, I know you're not gonna gain right away in terms of um, telling them to fix their government obligations, or I mean benefits, right? Or your health insurance. But it's more of like, as you would always say, it's holistic and realistic, because
Yes.
before you jump into investments, because investments is, for me, in my mindset, it's excess money to save for the future, just in case, and then if not,
Yes.
pass it on to your family. Now, can you talk to us more on savings? Because of course there's a bank, there's other
Yes.
ways, there's banks or equity, UITF, so on and so forth. But with your practice, how do you differentiate different types of savings, and what could be the best mindset for a person when they diversify their portfolio in terms of savings, protection, and expected needs? I mean, how would
Okay, just
you?
to simplify it, Cass, because a lot of people are thinking investment is the solution. First
Right.
of all, when you look at investment, it's usually long term. Super duper long term, like 20 years down the road. Don't look at investment as something that you will be needing in 10 years, because the problem with investment is, of course, it will earn more than the bank. Okay, it will
Mm,
earn more than the bank. But then there are certain situations, like for example, today, if you invested, let's say 15 years ago, the stock market is down.
mm,
Okay, the stock market is down. You cannot withdraw. Okay, because if you withdraw, it will be at a loss.
yes.
So I usually tell my clients, your investment is something that you will really forget. Like, okay, you will really, really forget. If you're thinking of investing for just 10 years, don't do it. Because if you need the money 10 years down the line, you're not even sure if the market is ready.
Let's go for
So
bonds, or
bonds probably, or time
yeah,
deposit.
time deposit. I mean, it's small, but it's being held. At least you won't use it. So
Yeah. But
yeah.
then, for example, right now, because this is something that is unexpected. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you have investments right now, if you withdraw, it will be at a loss.
Mm.
So normally, before you think of investment, I go back to savings. And in terms of savings, cash is really king. As in, I really appreciate that now. Now, some of my clients are not users of credit cards. Okay,
Mm.
this is the best time to have good credit. Okay, when I
Yeah,
say good
that's
credit,
so true.
if somebody offers you a credit card, you get it. I'm really telling you, you
Mhm.
get it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my friends will be like, I don't have a card. During this pandemic, during this lockdown, I really see the appreciation I really have an appreciation for credit cards. For example, during this lockdown, people will be buying more. okay, I'll be sharing a story. So as I've said, I'm diabetic, so I'm on insulin. Normally, my medicines are 10,000 pesos a week. Okay? On a good day, wala pang hika, wala pang anything. My parents' medicine, siguro another 50,000. So, siguro in 1 month, our total medicines in terms of cost is really 100,000. So, normally, we buy it per week. Okay? We buy it per week. But now, because of this lockdown, we need to buy our medicines we need to buy more than like a 1 month supply.
Correct.
Okay.
Advance, yes.
So if we use cash, all our it will be gone, diba?
Yes,
So
out, yeah. You
will
won't
be
be able
wiped
to
out.
plan.
So
You won't be able to plan how to use your cash as well.
yes,
Yeah.
there won't be any cash to use.
Nothing anymore. No, but that's true. Yeah, that's true. So
Yeah.
so credit cards is not there for shopping. Credit cards is there
It's
for
really for emergency.
emergency uses. Yeah, that's true also, because having a credit card, I learned this in the States when I lived there early on in early 2000s, by myself. Having a good credit not only gives you the privilege, of course, that you can go shop anywhere. Sure, that's a perk.
Yes.
But really, because you will be able to, one, get a rent, because they will be able to see what your credit is. Number two, could be for loans as well.
Yes.
Let's see if how diligent you are. So it has also certain statistics saying also how disciplined you are and where do you usually make use of your money. So that's why also there are different kinds of credit cards, solely because they saw the trend on what is a person's behavior. So if you are a shopper, of course you get the shopping card, right? So and that's how they base also your lifestyle. So I love when you said that cash is king, of course, but don't be afraid on having a credit card. I mean, I know there are a lot of people who are sober now from credit cards, but that's because of the discipline on how you make use of it. What is the mindset for that? Now, I agree also. This is nice. This is a nice conversation also in terms of savings. Savings is truly important, and there are different kinds of savings, right? So there's emergency savings. What else? I remember, for me myself, I make use of jars. So I have education jar, which means, okay, this education jar, I allocate or I try to save as much for the entire year. And if I don't get to use it this month, of course, it carries over and this is it. So I don't deprive yourself. So it's also important also when I think it's important to discuss this, that you also deprive yourself from certain luxuries, because if you keep on like holding your money and you don't have a life or make use of it for, of course, I mean, you did your own hard work and stuff, and then don't make use of it for your own self-indulgent, you're gonna hate having money. So there are a lot of, there's not having money, or insufficient money, or having too much money. So greed may also come in. So there are a lot of mindsets that forms around the money. And for me, money is not the root of evil, honestly. So I get it. So with you, Lysa, how do you handle money? I mean, how do you handle money yourself and in application to your client?
Okay. So background, I'm very magastos. I don't advocate. I'm not a thrifty person. So if you're going to ask me for tipid tips,
no,
I will not share. But I will share how to manage your finances well, in the sense that I think some people are making tipid in the wrong aspects.
Yes, I agree.
So for me, I'm what's it called this? How am I as a spender? I'm a realistic spender. I like to splurge. Okay, so I love to splurge, but I know where to splurge. Yes, I know where to splurge correctly. So I know how to save in the right places, and I usually tell my clients, you have to check where are you splurging. It might be in the wrong places. Insurance is a splurge for some. Okay? Because it's usually something that they feel that it's an expense or it's a luxury. You have to shift your mind. It's actually a necessity. If something happens to you, what will happen to your loved ones?
Mm-hmm.
If you get sick today, who will take care of you? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
do you expect your senior parents to take care of you? So I usually tell my clients, you have to be realistic when you spend and when you splurge. So if you can afford a trip abroad, let's say thrice or four times a year, even with all the seat sale, even with all the tipid, you can spend on real products that could help you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for example, insurance is one thing. You can also invest. So if you're having, I have a friend. She travels domestically during seat sales up to 10 times a year. Can you
Wow.
imagine?
Yeah.
So we computed, and she's spending like 150,000 or 120,000 just for that. But she feels that it's stupid. So, but it's not. So I usually tell my clients, check your spending. Okay, check your spending. If you feel that you cannot afford certain things, maybe you are spending on the wrong things. Okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. So that's why, you know, maybe you guys can look it up about the 6 jars. Yeah, I think those are 6 jars, but the jars, saving jars. And it allocates to certain things also so that you won't feel bad when you don't have for savings, you don't have for education, you don't have for traveling, you don't have, you know, it's hard also, especially when you are a husband and wife
Yeah.
and you always this is true though. There's a huge statistics saying that people separate because of money
Money.
problems. Yes, because most of the time, of course, like a wife and a husband, the husband maybe wants to travel, and the other one's like, okay, where are we gonna get the money? But the thing is, it should be reallocated equal, if not equally, at least there's a goal to that, and must be um conversed, yeah, into a dialogue on how
Yeah.
is it going to be allocated. Now, okay, so Lai, we are in the part, or we're in the part wherein, okay, we spoke about savings, we spoke about insurance, we spoke about health, the government. Now, what about taxes? I mean,
Okay.
maybe just a broad, just a generic ones in relation to being financially fit. Taxes.
Number one question that I normally ask freelancers or self-entrepreneurs, do you have ITR? Are you registered?
Mm.
99.9% will say that no.
No, they hate it.
Okay, I won't name names. I protect my clients and
Yeah.
I protect my friends. But what happens is, if you're not registered or if you don't have your ITR, you don't have a financial identity. Okay?
Mm.
Para lang kayong lurker. You don't have financial identity. When I started my travel agency, I was hesitant to have my ITR because sabi ko, it won't last probably. But then, our bookkeeper said, you'll not have any financial identity. What if you need to apply for visa? What if you need to apply for credit card?
That's
What if you
true.
need to apply for a bank loan, a
That's
housing
true.
loan? Okay, car
Mm-hmm.
loan medyo lenient eh. But if you don't have an ITR, you don't have an identity. Okay? I spoke with a lot of freelancers and they always tell me, Cass, kasi sayang yung tax. There will come a time wherein you will appreciate the value of an ITR. Okay? Your TIN number, even when you started working, usually our TIN numbers, we get it during college. Okay? Mga fourth year college yan eh, during yung mga career
Mm.
counseling fairs. So your TIN number before will still be your TIN number forever. So try to consider that. Having an ITR is very important. Paying our taxes is very important. Right now, you're thinking, siguro, I'll be speaking to freelancers and solo entrepreneurs. You're thinking you're not earning as much to put it in the ITR. There will really come a time when you need to apply for a visa and you'll be praying that you'll have that ITR.
That's
Or you
true.
need to apply for a bank loan
That's so
and they'll
true.
ask you for an ITR. Okay. Also, a lot of not just freelancers, probably salespeople, real estate brokers, a lot of financial advisors, they don't declare. I suggest that you do because, again, it's called financial identity. If you don't have anything on paper, you don't exist. So if you need something high to purchase anything high value in the future, I'll be speaking about credit cards. If you need to apply, let's say you have a credit card before, you want to apply for higher credit limit.
Mm.
You need an ITR to prove that you can get that higher credit limit. So you really need it. So if you, again, if you feel that you're too lazy to get a bookkeeper, there are so many services out there that can cater to freelancers or solo entrepreneurs. They can
Or
do your
online.
bookkeeping for you.
Yes. Or
Yes.
online. You can do
So
QuickBooks. Well, if you want to do your Excel, go for that. That's true. That's true. Yes, I
so
agree to
first
that.
step.
Yes, I agree to
Okay.
that. In fact, also, just a little background too. When I was, this is one of the milestones that I'm truly proud of
Mm.
myself. It's crazy. At the age of 22, my parents were so amused that I was able to apply for US visa all by myself.
Mm.
And that's because I was paying for my taxes. And then when I
Very good.
renewed, yeah, so when I renewed my visa, I was on and off taxes. But soon
Mm.
as I had the business um, running, the first thing that I thought of, wow, if I want my business, if you guys want your business also global, you want to reach global, you need to have good taxes, because once you expand your business abroad, let's just say, hey, the sky's the limit, right? If you want to expand your business abroad, it's important that they also get to see that you're a responsible citizen. Um, just a quick cuento. When I had a Malaysian client before, it was a high ticket Malaysian client before, because I was responsible of my taxes. They knew that even if I was young, that I meant business, that I mean business. So you guys,
Mm.
don't be afraid of these little things. They sound daunting,
Yes.
overwhelming, and all those jazz, but there are other ways. So number one, if you don't have a bookkeeper, you can always hire someone to do that for you if you're the type of person who wants to talk to someone. Number two, you can also do QuickBooks, or if you want to do some invoicing, there are apps around. Thank God for technology.
Yes.
Or you can just rely on your Excel sheet. I mean, you don't have to be good. All you need to do is credit, debit, and also put payment plans on when do you pay for it. And that way also you get to forecast your life on how much do you need
Yeah.
in a month. So it's not just being responsible, but it's also giving you the idea that how much you need every month. Okay, so this is great.
But Cass, just to butt
Mm.
in
Go for
terms of
it. Go for it.
bookkeeping,
Yeah.
a lot of people will again save on bookkeeping services by doing it themselves. Get a good bookkeeper, because I have a lot of friends who tried
True.
doing it themselves. They actually incurred a lot of penalties with the BIR because they filed the wrong papers, the wrong forms, blah blah blah.
Well,
So
there's
if you're
Taxumo. Okay, shout out to our friends,
yes, a
Ginger,
ginger.
Ginger and EJ.
So
There's always Taxumo to help you with that.
yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Plus, also check with your community. There's a lot of freelance bookkeepers who will be happy to help you. But you have to get it right,
Yeah.
because a lot
And
of
it's a minimum
people
fee. How
will,
much is it? Like 3,000 pesos? 6,000?
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Also, Cass, because I have a lot of friends who are food suppliers ba?
Mm,
Food suppliers.
right.
They usually think,
Providers.
food providers, yung mga small scale
Deliveries.
industries.
Yeah.
Ayan. They usually ask, do I have myself registered? If you need to get bigger clients, yes, you
Yes.
have to,
Kasi you need the
because they will
receipt.
be asking, yes. But if you want to keep it small, parang ano lang kayo, lying low.
Yeah, if it's
Eh,
a side
still,
hustle, if it's a side hustle and you have a main hustle that, I mean, if you're just
yeah,
trying out, give it a year or two, sure, that's okay. But if the business is the main hustle already,
correct.
doesn't make sense that you keep it. So, yeah. And of course, having an OR
Yes,
will make you so legit. You'll be able to get high ticket clients as well, and big bulk
that's
orders,
correct.
diba? So yeah, so if you want to go global, that's how it is. Okay, so shout out to our friends with Taxumo. You can actually go to their site, and
Yes.
if you don't want a bookkeeper, and the dashboard is pretty helpful in terms of trying to see if you were able to file your taxes where you are, and to avoid penalties as well. They get reminders and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And you can also hire other people too. In fact, we have GNC, GNC bookkeeping, though these are our bookkeepers. So they
Mm.
can also help you for what, 3,000, 5,000 pesos. And
Yes.
guys, what is 3,000, 5,000 pesos if it's going to give you peace of mind as well, and the hassle of going to BIR, filling up all the
Correct.
papers, and so on and so forth. So this is great. So having to talk, going back to the entire pie, we spoke of, in summary, we spoke of number one is your government obligations,
Yes, the basics.
benefits. Yeah. So these are the benefits. Lysa, tama ba? I mean, you can actually, those of you guys who don't know, you can actually file and pay online as well for your
Yes.
government needs. So go
But if
for
you're
that.
going to convert pala, Cass, from
Yeah,
being corporate to freelancer, or
you have
you're
to
going to
go
apply, you have to go to the office.
office. Okay, and then sign up forms. Yo. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So there. So that's the one. And then we spoke of healthcare. Don't neglect that. You want peace of mind at the end of the day, that you can just like crawl. I mean, not naman crawl, but you can just like drive yourself without thinking how are you going to pay for it. We forgot though death as
Yeah.
well. So
Death.
yeah, so you have to also consider death, and what are you going to give to your family at the same time? Your coffee.
But normally, Cass, if you get some insurance now, if you get, let's say, a critical illness insurance, even if you die through accident, you'll able to have the death benefit.
Yeah. So okay, that's good. All right. Okay. So all right. So the death benefit, but does it include also cremation? No, not yet. No,
Ano,
it's just
yung
money.
mga
It's money
asset,
that's
yan
right.
yung
Yeah.
mga ano naman yan. We can discuss that in another, yung mga preparation for death.
Yes. Okay, we'll do that. So yeah. So basically, think of from birth to death.
Death.
So what is the in betweens as well? So this conversation is truly important. If you can actually top up for your taxes as well,
Yes.
that's okay. Be as honest as you can. No, not as you can. Be honest, because you have
Be
to. And
honest.
because you have to, and you can. And then in terms of PhilHealth and Pag-ibig, I know there is a new scheme with is it Pag-ibig yung M2, or is it PhilHealth M2? Like it's
Which one?
a higher investment. I think it's
Yeah,
PhilHealth.
they have that. But you have to be an existing Pag-ibig member.
Right.
Parang
20,
minimum
yeah,
5,000.
is it 2020
Yeah.
and yeah, so you guys can check it out, but it's a bigger bigger returns if you're that someone who wants to just make your money work even faster, but with a small amount, because it's what 600, 5,000 pesos, I think.
Parang maliit lang yung like 500 a month.
Yeah. So, but if you want
But then
500
the
a month,
interest,
the interest is big.
Yeah.
So,
Kesa sa bank. Instead
yeah.
of being sa bank.
Correct. So, yeah. So, I guess this is a good conversation. I actually enjoy talking about money because it's something that we shouldn't be afraid of. It's something that we have to actually more embrace for abundance, because the more that you call in abundance and you respond to abundance, the more that you'll have, again, peace of mind. All right. Do you have any other last words to say? Like any more tips for everybody?
Okay, so one of my realizations lang, Cass, because we're on lockdown now for 10 days?
Yeah.
No, but 10, 11 days. So I've had a lot of realizations. And it's that normally unexpected things will happen unexpectedly. And now I'm really thinking, like, to be honest, if I pass away tomorrow, in terms of insurance, I have 2.4 million. And I'm thinking, if I leave that to my senior parents and to my ate, wow, parang that's good enough. But it's not good for like 1 year.
Years, exactly. Yeah.
But then, I'm single right now, so I'm thinking, what if I have kids? What is 2.4 million for them? Diba? So, one of my realizations is that I should have hoarded insurance because, again, being a diabetic, disclaimer, I could only acquire certain types of insurance because I'm a diabetic since 14. But my main realization is that I should have hoarded as many insurance as I could have before. if I could be what's what called it, if I could still avail of it, I would have hoarded as many as I can. Like I would
Yeah,
have
that's
probably like 10 million
yeah, because when you're
coverage.
younger, I mean, I remember up until now, my 16, when I was 16, right? Up until now, I still pay for it. And I already get returns and I give it to my mom. So she's the one who's actually
Wow,
using the printer.
allowance.
Yeah, it's an allowance. I mean, it's not big, but the fact that it's there and
There.
peace of mind again, because, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
true. And
Isa
what's
yun
how
yung
much is the monthly
realization
now?
ko.
For a 30-year-old, how much is the minimum now? I think it's just around per quarter, around 7.5, I think, even or maybe
Usually,
less.
my clients that
Yeah.
gets insurance, I'm not pushing
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, of
basic
course.
insurance,
Yeah, of
but
course.
siguro average lang is like 2,000 to 3,000 a month.
Well, not
And one
bad.
of
I
my
mean, that's how
clients,
many Starbucks coffee or
sabi nga nung client kong isa, ma'am,
yeah.
parang sangyup salamat lang. O, di ba
Correct.
nag-promote pa ako?
No, no, no,
Four
that's true.
times, di ba? Parang 4 na beses lang na sangyup salamat. So, if you can eat out 4 to 6 times a day, ay, tama, yung iba nga, everyday eat out or 4 to 6 times a week, you can afford Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, SSS, you can get your ITR. You just have to spend on the right places. Now, I think yung realization ko again because of this pandemic is that you should just be prepared. It's never too late because I know a lot of people are thinking, shucks, is it too late? It is never too late, but you have to act now. Because
Yes.
like this NCOV, di ba yung pandemic is just a word. Usually we see it's policy contracts. And we usually think, it will not happen
But
because
here
of
it is.
yun.
Yeah.
Diba? Here we are.
Yeah.
So, for me, protection is king. Always have cash. Okay? Another thing, you always need to have cash. But, siguro one thing that I also realized, Cass, I will get a higher credit limit for my credit cards.
Yeah, me too.
Kasi,
I got one finally.
di
And yeah,
ba?
imagine
Kilabot eh.
yeah, imagine I had a credit card since 21 and you know how much is the credit limit? You're gonna laugh.
Yes.
It's only 8,000 pesos.
Kasi at the time, malaki na siya.
I know.
Malaki na siya doon.
So, whenever my husband would say, "Oh, where's your credit? Why don't you pay your credit card?" Oh, it's just for gas.
So, yun ang suggestion ko.
You have
Get a
to.
higher credit
No, you have
limit.
to have it.
Kasi,
Yeah. Yeah.
kasi ang iniisip ko, for example, being a diabetic,
You
if
should have, yeah, for emergency.
we need more medicines. Like, I know a lot of our viewers have senior parents. Not just, kahit di nga senior eh. At the age of 40, may mga maintenance na ngayon eh. Even for yourself, to go to the groceries, you need a credit card. So, I'm now I'm now advocating credit cards because I really see the value.
Yeah. Even me, I don't know if you've noticed. I do have cash with me, but I always bring just 500 or 1,000 pesos just for emergency. Like I just need to pay something. But I mostly use my card only because I had this one. Number one, in the States, when I was in the States, we don't really make use of cash that much anymore. And that was early 2000s. We have checks that serves as cash. And the grocery can also accept that. So I brought it along with me with the mindset that, yeah, the credit and all these things. I learned a lot from that. But having said that, also having that credit card being used again, your credit score is also going to be a fix. Number two, you'll have payment terms too. So you can, like with me, what I do, if you guys have credit cards, you can have like maybe this credit card is just for gas. That's it. And maybe this card is only for this. Okay, and then that's it. So my 8,000 credit limit is actually, it was literally that way. I asked them to do that way and they were laughing at me like, why? I mean, why? I was like, yeah, just put 8,000. I don't mind. And they were like, that's how I make, of course, the bank, that's how they make business too. So I was like, no, it's only for gas, but I will keep on replenishing it. So, and if you can pay in advance or payment terms, that will be great too. You'll be able to also financially plan also how much is your expenditure. And yeah, so there are a lot of things. So it depends on how you allocate your money every time that the envelope comes in. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. So you guys, this is such a beautiful conversation. Thank you, Lysa, for this.
Thank you,
For this.
Cass. You're beautiful too. Oh.
I
You're so cute kaya.
know. Thanks for doing this with me, and also for educating the ambitious tribe and those who
Yes.
follow the After Six as well. And you guys, if you need any financial health, you need financial wealth review, or maybe just a discovery call on how to affix your finances, you can go ahead and have a discovery call with Lysa. Again, I will be putting in a form down below, and she can have access to that. Just put in your name and your number, and she'll give you a call, or just hit her up for her your Facebook, right? Lysa
Yes.
Sanchez. What is your messenger?
I think sa marketing goddess na lang. The marketing goddess. Para
All right.
mabuhay siya.
All right. So the marketing goddess. This is in Facebook and Instagram.
Yes. It's
All
on
right.
Facebook. And on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn is Lysa Sanchez because we're advocates of LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
So,
Right. Yes.
LinkedIn. Basta Cass, just to end,
Hmm.
my sharing is that it's never too late to fix your finances. Okay,
That's
it doesn't
never too
have to be
late.
perfect.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't.
have to be. Yeah.
To be honest, my finances are not perfect, but I know that if something happens to me,
You
I'm
can work on
covered.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if baka I know a lot of Filipinos who think, it's too late, I'm too old, or the damage has been done, blah blah blah. It's never too late. You just
Mm.
have to take the first step in admitting that you need help. And I am
Yes.
here to help along with the After Six
Right.
Club.
And what's beautiful about this exercise, you guys, you can have a family projection on how much do you need to prepare for your
Yes.
family. So it doesn't mean that you have to jump into it now, but the knowledge is game as a game changer for you to realize, like, okay, how are you going to handle your finances better. All right, so again, you guys, just remember to hit like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get yourself even more informed about our succeeding episodes. And do click on the bottom down below for the discovery call with Lysa, and we'll be glad to help you guys in terms of to be financially fit. All right. So this is Cassie once again, and have a good day, everyone. Thank you again, Lysa, for being here. Until then, you guys, bye.